What is going on, you guys? This is a video I've been kind of dreading to make. Not an easy one. Obviously, things have not been going as planned, but I do think it's important being in the position that I'm in that for transparency reasons, we don't just talk about the wins and the good, we also talk about the bad. And this has been a pretty obvious example of a stock or two stocks in my portfolio that have not panned out as originally would have hoped. Tencent's down over 70% off highs. BABA, very similar story. I actually woke up this morning. Again, I'm here in Taiwan right now. I woke up, markets were closed, and I saw basically, BABA was down like 15 or 20% today. I'm just like, oh no, this bleeding just won't stop. But I do just want to come and talk about where my mind's at, what my thoughts are at. For those of you that were, warning me and saying all these things back when I initiated these positions, you guys have every right to leave some comments down below and take your shots at me. This is something that I got to take full responsibility for, and I do feel bad. I don't ever want to be leading you guys down the wrong direction when it comes to anything investment related. This has been a pretty poor case of that, and it's just tough, right? It's just tough looking at this. It does suck, honestly, and it's really been dragging my portfolio down a decent amount this year. Not the best, but where was I? Yeah, shares were down 15 to 20% today, and I just figured, let's do an update video. I've been really going back and forth between whether I should be selling these stocks, whether I want to hold them for the long term. For a quick update on what's been happening for those not really following along, since my last post, the risks, the situation has just heightened. I believe the news today that really shot the market down was the news of President Xi essentially remaining in power for another term with no real competition in sight. Obviously not good with his stance, with their stances on these big corporations, these big powerhouses, companies. China's still standing very strong on the zero COVID policy, stronger than anywhere else in the globe, really, with the strictness and that resulting in restaurants being closed, businesses being closed is very, very tough. That's resulted in a slowing economy. I did see some GDP numbers. Whether these are real or not, that's up for debate. And obviously we have the whole real estate situation. So real estate has just been crumbling down, defaults from these major developers. And of course you do have this ramping up of military pressure on Taiwan, building stronger ties with Russia. There's a lot going on. These are all things that, if you look back to when I initiated this position, it's probably over a year or so ago now, these risks were there and these risks were needed to be aware about, but they hadn't come to fruition quite yet. And that's something that I'm not trying to say as an excuse. It's not an excuse, oh, these things happened, oh, the war happened, this has made things way worse. It has, but that's the responsibility is on me when I buy risky stocks like this to understand that these are the things that can happen. And if you go back and watch that video, there's specifically a part where I say when you're buying stocks like this, they could go down 40, 50, 60%. Like that's something you have to live with. And I lived with that actually with stocks like Tencent. They've gone through some pretty severe drops over the past couple of years, but a 70% decline is a little more serious than I would have really anticipated. I shouldn't say anticipated. I understand this is possible, but when it actually happens, it definitely does not feel good. And yeah, this is such a tricky situation because still yet to be decided as to whether this is these are positions that I want to hold for the future, or if this is getting so serious that it's something that I want to cut ties with and just kind of take my lumps, take it as a learning lesson and move on. In all honesty, in hindsight, if I were to have wanted to cut ties with this, if I wanted to drop that thesis, I probably should have cut ties with these stocks probably months ago, like literally when we first started seeing and hearing about the devastating news. At this point in time, I never want to be just a bag holder and live in the past. I need to say from this point forward, what do I think is going to happen? I, as an investor, have always been drawn into these more contrarian type of investments. That's just me. I'm not saying that should be for you. Everybody has their own investment style. Some people like ESG investing and investing very, environmentally, socially, like everybody has their own little things that they're drawn into. I've personally always been enticed by these plays that the numbers say such and such, they look good, it looks like an opportunity, but it may not be the most popular thing, whether that's investing in a Lockheed Martin, whether it's investing in a stock like here in China. That's just what's drawn me in. And when you invest in this type of nature, you do get into uncomfortable situations with the followers, the fans who tell you, oh, don't do this, don't support this, blah, blah, blah. And uncomfortable situations where the stocks don't play out as you would have originally hoped. And clearly we're in one of those decision points now where this sucks, right? And it really has been drawing down my portfolio, as I said. But I did just want to update you guys and say, despite things getting worse and worse and worse, at this point, I am still holding my positions. Am I adding more to them right now? I am not adding more to these positions right now. I've already had more money than I wanted to in these stocks. I'm down thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on these. And again, it's really not fun to say, but I did just want to give you guys an update. I'm still holding these. If I were to have cut ties, I probably should have done that way before, way prior than now, than a 73% loss. I'm not saying that this can't drop further, although the fundamentals have been slowing with companies like BABA actually in particular. Their fundamentals are slowing, still great in the big scheme of things, but they are slowing from what we originally looked at. I still think that these stocks are just so underpriced and so undervalued. And again, maybe rightfully so, right? It's so hard to weigh the numbers with all of the factors that go on to holding a stock like this. But I just wanted to give you guys an update. For transparency purposes, I am still holding these stocks. They are totally sucking for the portfolio. I'm still quite undecided what I want to do with these positions. But if I am going to be leaning one way, I believe that I'm still going to own these stocks. I understood the risk coming in. A lot of people will say, oh, I understand the risk. I understand it's risky, but you don't take the time to envision that this type of thing can happen. This is living proof that this type of stuff can happen. Again, it's just becoming more and more serious with everything that's happening on the political side there. So every day, these new pieces of information that you hear are factored in. Sucks. It is what it is, but I hope you guys appreciate the transparency. Of course, in hindsight, I wish that I didn't buy these stocks as early as I had. I wish this wasn't a play that I took more seriously. But hey, I got to live and stand by my decision. I weighed the pros and cons. I thought for me, a young investor, someone looking for more risk, this was right up my appetite, right up my alley. And hey, you win some, you lose some. It's still too early to say, but this is definitely a sobering video to film and to post. But I do think I owe it to you guys to at least give you guys an update. Let me know your thoughts down below, positive or negative. I deserve it all. I'm going to be aiming to post more videos kind of in this style. If it's good with you guys, if you guys are appreciating the chats, little discussion talks here, I can easily do this from my laptop, from our little space over here. So if you guys enjoy, you can give me a thumbs up regardless of what you think about this. Much appreciated. But hey, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.